Does anyone else think this episode is so bizarre? What is going on there, citizens of the Reject Nation? We are here to watch The Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 6, as always, joined by my doll and John.
Is he okay?
He's fine. How are you, John?
I am interstellar, sir. How are you?
I am Christopher Nolan. How are you, Michael?
Is the baby okay?
The baby's okay.
Okay, that's all that matters. Are you guys excited for the entire cast of Rebels?
Yeah, they're all going to show up. Thank you so much for being here. Please, you know what to do. Use the Force to leave a like if you end up enjoying this video. As always, full-length reaction watch-alongs where you sync up with your own copy for The Mandalorian, available for Super Sexy Rejects over at our Patreon page. Thank you to all who have joined just for this show alone, but we also cover a bunch of stuff exclusively over there as well. And I wanted to shout out everyone who did purchase a shirt of The Last Daddy. Here's an image of it. Real Rejects exclusive over at shopzeroedition.com. In 24 hours, it became our most sold shirt ever. I said that for this episode, I'd be wearing my shirt of it. And I'm here to tell you guys, it's a scam. No refunds. No, I'm just joking.
They were all NFTs, right?
Yeah, they're all. You guys bought
NFT shirts. Yep, there it is.
What went wrong when I was trying to tell you earlier. What I wanted to do was get Michael a shirt as well. My gift was a Real Reject shirt to him, but it was like Star Wars related. And then I had the wrong autofill information go in there. Now, whoever's living in my old apartment is going to get a nice surprise.
Maybe they'll subscribe to the channel now.
Yeah, you're like, what is this? I love it. I'm keeping it. But thank you to all who bought one. Anyway, let's watch this episode.
That looks like a Mon Calamari ship.
Congratulations.
Että jätetti saktimat mara.
Of how Star Trek-y this is. Hey, didn't the other Mandalorians commandeer that ship?
You see, we've been commissioned to track you down, Captain Shuggoth.
Fire the blasters.
You see, we were already hired by a certain Mon Calamari viceroy. You absconded with her son. I know it was for love.
No, I won't go. I won't go.
Oh my.
We love each other.
Please, talk to him.
You have to go with them.
No, I love you.
Please go. We knew fate was not on our side.
Who cares about fate? I love you.
And I will always love you.
I mean,
Do
it's
it.
so nice.
More romance.
Come with us, Prince.
You can do this. I'll see you again.
It's a long ride home.
Oh, this is a nice little callback to the Clone Wars.
Can't imagine wolves will be happy to see you.
I'll land outside the fleet's perimeter. Probably best if we go in on foot.
They don't have any air detection.
You will be guided on the assigned path. Engaging automated guidance.
What in the Disneyland is this?
Fascinating.
Welcome to the experimental prototype community of tomorrow.
They've taken control of the ship. I guess we're going for a ride.
Is a Disneyland ride.
Oh my god. Is that a monorail track? Oh my god, it's literally Epcot. I love it.
The sudden urge to just leave here and go to Florida.
My God, it's Dark 2D2 and Dark 3PO.
Bizarro world version of them.
Yeah.
Welcome to Plazier 15. Please proceed to your Hyperloop pod.
All black everything.
They've got a Hyperloop?
Bring us to the bay closest to the Mandalorian fleet.
I'm super jazzed about all this.
Your presence has been requested by the leadership. Please do not attempt to leave the vehicle. This is not a request.
Oh my God.
Awesome. Oh man. Oh, it's just like the People Mover at Magic Kingdom.
Do you think we're gonna have to blast our way out of here?
Yeah.
Find out.
Look at all those people.
Yeah, there is a surprising, concerning lack of people. Certainly makes direct democracy easier.
This episode's feeling more like a Doctor Who and Star Trek episode combined.
That's exactly what it feels like.
Join us!
Is that Jack Black?
It's a party!
It sounds like.
Oh my God!
And Lizzo?
I hope you like secretions. Take a little sip.
That's
Jack
a
Black and
cameo.
Lizzo? What's going on?
Both two crazy cameos.
What in the Paradise Planet?
The frog!
I was able to help rebuild Plaza 15.
You were Imperial?
He was. Plaisir suffered greatly under Imperial rule. He oversaw the rebuilding of this planet on which my family served as nobility. We fell in love.
Yeah, you did.
Nice.
We did fall in love.
Love is the theme of this episode.
Could I perhaps hold the baby, please?
Same.
I'd like to speak to these privateers.
That can be arranged. There is just one condition. You really must see the view.
His deliveries.
Right this way.
Finally, a role worthy of Jack Black's beard.
A droid problem. Completely rehabilitated for peaceful purposes exclusively.
We thought.
They were, my love. I personally oversaw the program. I mean, nothing too serious at first. Unexpected power cycles, deleted task stacks.
Assault.
Assault?
Uh-oh.
Whoa.
Our constables are ill-equipped to confront battle droids.
Battle droids?
Oh my God.
Our constables aren't even allowed to carry blasters.
But you allowed us to be armed?
Exactly. The people have voted we are a pluralistic society. You are Mandalorians. Weaponry and armor are intrinsic to your culture, are they not?
Yes.
A nice loophole.
You see where we're going here?
Unlike my brethren outside your city walls, I am not a mercenary.
Apologies if that is the impression I gave. What I intended to...
Guy.
Plaza 15 would formally recognize Mandalore as a sovereign system and petition the new Republic to recognize it as such.
There is a benefit.
What do you think?
You had me at battle droids.
He's been itching to take some droids
These
out.
droids were all reprogrammed to serve the community.
Damn,
Is that Christopher Lloyd? What is
Jesus.
this episode?
What in the Back to the Future Part 2 is this?
And then others.
Mr. Fusion. You don't need all these clothes.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Why not turn them all off? Who's in charge of that?
I am. The citizens voted against any interruption in droid services. They can't live without it. The citizens are no longer required to work. They can spend their days engaging in recreation, the arts.
Okay.
We shut down the droids. Our citizens wouldn't know how to survive.
Dystopian utopia.
Give us the list.
Well, for that, you'll have to go to the lower level and speak to the Ugnaughts.
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 Wheel's got to have a cousin down there.
Be a
somewhere.
cameo by Charlie Day down there.
Oh, it's so cool to see prequel era droids.
They're all played by Nick Nolte.
We were sent on behalf of the Duchess and Captain Bombardier to help you with your droid problem.
There's no droid problem. They're programming them to be this way.
It's the rebellion.
Friend of Ugnaught Queel, you will answer our questions and help us with our task. I have spoken.
Damn, they really do all know each other.
The droids are not malfunctioning.
Citizens have been harmed.
This is not the case.
This is not the way.
Here are the locations of the droids you seek.
Thank you. We are in your debt. I have spoken.
The droids you're looking for.
Ah, this is wonderful.
What was that?
I've spent time with Ugnaughts. There's a particular way to communicate with them.
One Ugnaught.
I have one Ugnaught friend.
This is awesome.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
Any of them look suspicious?
They all do.
They all look suspicious.
Oh.
This is the first time in Mandalorian we've seen
Din's flashback.
We're here on behalf of the Duchess to investigate the droid malfunctions.
Yes, I saw the report.
Their voices.
The, certification is on file. I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Why?
Why is that?
Well, as a precaution.
Precaution?
I thought they were just checked out.
They were. What are you doing?
Then this shouldn't phase them.
Sir?
Oh, no.
Excuse me, sir?
Yes.
Whoa. Told you, droids are bad.
Boom. Not that guy walking by.
Recertified, huh?
You should have left them alone.
Aw, this poor foreman.
Wow, he's fast.
Run, Sonny.
Good use of the boost.
Shove that guy.
What a strange episode.
Whoa.
I'm getting some Terminator RoboCop vibes right now.
I mean, this
Little Alita Battle Angel.
God, I bet there's so many. Oh!
Wow! Oh, jeez.
Nice.
Bow shot first.
Actually reminds me of Blade Runner when Deckard was hunting down that one woman droid. Check its pockets for money.
What's it say?
The resistor.
Ooh.
Whoa.
And there's an address.
What do you know?
Detectives.
Ah, yes. The buddy cop duo that we didn't ask for.
That I always wanted.
You kicking droids is really not helpful.
Good cop, bad cop.
You did it your way, now let me do it mine, okay?
This is mine way.
This is the address.
This is the address.
We're just such a strange episode.
Yeah. Get that juicy motor oil. Star Tours, guys.
Oh, I know. Oh, I love the irony of this.
I don't think they get many of our kind here.
Yeah, organics are sparse around here.
That spark pad was found on a rogue battle droid.
We give out lots of spark pads. What are you getting at? We are in full compliance with planetary hierarchy.
If you don't start answering questions, I'll yank your memory circuit and dissect it back at the lab.
Jesus, Din.
Torture him.
Nobody leaves.
I'm taking a piss on this bar.
You can't reason with droids.
Their behavior's programmed. All they do is reason.
They're also programmed not to harm organics. How's that going?
So bitter and petty.
I want to help.
You want me to pull your hearing sensors too?
We don't want to be replaced. We still have a lot to contribute. Organics created us. It's the least we can do.
You're a real hero. Get a spin-off about this bartender.
Direct democracy right here.
Nepenthe reprograms the droids that drink here?
It patches the programming as the commands of the mainframe change.
Okay.
Who's programming the mainframe?
It seems the malfunctioning droids all imbibed from the same batch of Nepenthe.
A bad
Bad
batch?
batch?
Batch.
What in the morgue? so much. It's so weird.
This is such a strange episode.
I'm here for it all the way.
Yes, drawing blood.
Get an oil sample, please.
Gonna ever autopsied a battle droid before?
Your vitamin D is down.
The particles are definitely present.
What are the chances that they're still active?
Wow! Whoa!
Oh, it's active.
Why don't they use that droid more often?
There you go.
Wow.
That's a good question.
That was the most effective droid I've ever seen.
It's the collateral damage droid.
These are the subparticles.
Wow.
They have midichlorians.
Yes.
Actually, nanodroids.
Nano droids.
It's writing.
Message.
Rotate the perspective.
It's Moff Gideon's signature.
It's a chain code. Let me see what I can find out.
Follow the blockchain.
They were originally manufactured by the Techno Union.
Oh.
Chain title says it didn't arrive on Plaisir through droid acquisitions. How strange.
How did it arrive?
Evil.
These droids were ordered by an individual.
Is there a name?
Our head of security,
Doc Brown.
Damn it.
Commissioner Hellgate.
No! No! I was so invested in him.
Security cameras for any potential irregularities.
This is the most bizarre episode they've done.
We know about the Nepenthe and the nanodroids.
You programmed them to disrupt an attack.
You're coming with us.
Are those droids? They are droids?
Everyone freeze!
Oh.
What?
It will convert the planet's docile workforce back into battle droids and unleash them upon the unsuspecting citizens of Plaisir.
A literal kill switch.
Do it.
There's no way out, Commissioner.
Does anyone else think this episode is so bizarre?
This has escalated quite quickly, yes.
You're a separatist.
Separatist is a pejorative term.
Ooh, nicely done.
I support democracy. Count Dooku was a visionary,
Fascinating.
primed by the Jedi and forces.
Good shooting, Tex.
I want to hear more about his thoughts on Count Dooku.
Politics.
Oh, that's so... What a funny way to
let
talk
me get that for you, my lady.
Oh, little pillbug.
I am so dazzled by whatever the hell we're watching.
Whatever drugs they did to conceive of this episode.
This is the strangest
Dave Filoni tries mushrooms.
Is this true?
I'm afraid it is, my lady.
Despicable.
This planet is unrecognizable since he arrived.
I had a feeling you hated me.
Is there no room for a little bit of forgiveness in a galaxy so vast?
I am sorry to have disappointed you, my lady. Perhaps someday I can earn such forgiveness.
I don't think so.
As for now, you must live in exile on the moon of Paraquat.
Oh.
Not Paraquat. Kumquat. We must go to Paraquat.
I also give to you both our highest honor, the key to Plaisir.
Yes.
Awesome.
Let's have a parade.
It's not quite a dark saber.
But we can let that go now.
And to this little one, I grant knighthood.
Yeah.
He's all kinds of things. He's a Jedi. He's a Mandalorian. He's a knight.
Go in peace, brave travelers, until our paths meet again.
Every season.
Milady.
Am I just like sleep deprived?
No, this is a peculiar
This is
episode.
a very strange, paced, and weird episode.
I'm having a blast, but this is odd, yes. How's this going to tie around to the stuff at the beginning, too?
They're going to follow you.
I'm not their leader anymore.
You are.
Axe Wolves is.
Then what's your play?
Kill him.
Duel Din and win.
I'll know when I get there.
Oh, no.
Follow my lead. Do what I do.
Wow, we're still going, huh? Okay.
This episode doesn't feel real to me.
No, it's not real. This
is all a fever dream.
Yeah.
You're asleep.
Like,
right
you've been
now.
in the hospital for weeks. Everything.
Wake up, man.
This feels like some weird comic book.
I'm now in command and grown quite fond of it.
Then I challenge you.
Nice.
Let's do this.
Do you accept my challenge?
Not a bitch, if that's what you're asking.
I do.
This happens outside of Disney World all the time, by the way.
I feel like they shot this in a park.
They totally did. Whoa! Nice.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Doe.
Kill him. She has been giving looks all episode.
Ooh, come on. Oh! Bonk. Ooh. Watch out, man.
Wow. This is a well-produced fan film.
What they were able to bring together with just a few friends in a public park.
Oh!
Wow!
That was cool.
Nice.
Man, oh, man.
Yield.
You will never be the true leader of our people. You won't even take the dark saber from him.
Oh.
Din Djarin took the creed and chose to walk the way, just as our ancestors did.
Yeah.
He is every bit the Mandalorian that they were, certainly as much as any of us.
It's 10 times the king Mufasa was.
The ruler of Mandalore must possess the dark saber.
Then she shall have it.
Oh, just give it to her.
Nah, I tried
That's
that.
a curse.
No, just do it. Curses aren't real.
Buy it from me.
While exploring Mandalore, I was captured, and this blade was taken from me.
The technicality.
She defeated the enemy that defeated me.
Yes.
That is literally a technicality, and I'm here for it.
This is the loophole.
Would it not belong to her?
I've been hoping Bo did not notice this.
It would.
Oh, Captain, my captain.
I return this blade to its rightful owner.
Nice. Do the rebels pose.
Wow.
Okay.
Come on. Yeah.
Hold it up.
Ah.
She didn't hold it up.
Sure
Bryce.
was. Wow, that was this episode, huh?
Johnny Favs.
Yeah. No, this has Jon Favreau written all over it.
I mean, he craps out these scripts, you know.
Man.
And he write all of Mandalorian, he write all above. Keep writing. Just get him out.
Which details did I put in which show again? Oh, crap.
Oh, God.
That was
a lot.
That was. I mean, it was fun.
I had a blast.
Yeah.
That was not.
Jables.
I wouldn't say that was their best work, though.
Straight up Lizzo's in Star Wars, Christopher Lloyd's in Star Wars.
This was a fat stack of notable guests, and then probably a bunch of other like character and voice actors to boot.
I felt like this was fake the entire time.
It was super fake. This has not really happened.
It didn't feel fake to me, but it did feel like I peered into an alternate universe where this was the 6th episode of the 3rd season.
Mandalorian and the Multiverse of Madness.
Oh,
Sure.
man, what happened here? I need to process this episode.
This
is so much to.
What happened?
This season has been 8 different shows smushed into one.
This was,
and I haven't hated it. But man, oh man.
This episode in particular, though, was something. This was McClunky. All right.
McClunky.
We were bordering on something else there. Oh, let's talk about it. All right, John, you seem to be the most positive. You take it away.
Yeah, I had a blast. I will not try and cover up the idea that this does feel like a kind of an incongruous note. I'm a little torn. I mean, like, part of this journey over the entire course of the show has been a nomadic one, has been sort of bopping between different things. But yes, as we've crested into season 3, it certainly feels like things are struggling to decide whether they want to be really serial or really episodic. And that stuff aside, I don't know. I was very charmed by the oddball quality of this. I can't pretend that its strangeness of tone does not, undercut some tension or some of the just, I don't know, quality of the overarching thing that's happening or trying to happen. But I don't know. I had a blast with this. I can't really say otherwise. Yeah, I don't know. I like this whole investigating the droids who are, going haywire, and Jack Black and Lizzo doing their, we're hoity-toity royal folk, and then Christopher Lloyd looking like he's about to fall over and die. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I was very charmed despite what this is in totality. But yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Michael, I know you want to get in there, buddy.
Shrek in space. Tell me that wasn't Duloc. Like,
Duloc is a perfect place.
It is, and so is wherever the hell we just were for the past 40-something minutes. No, I mean it was super weird. I mean, listen, I'd be lying if I said I didn't love every single millisecond of the chaos. But from as a producer, as somebody who's had to write and bring to life a feature film, there has been a blatant disregard for I think a comprehensive, cohesive narrative. And I think you're able to get away with that to an extent. I've kind of reached a point, and maybe this is a hot take, and I think this is my first negative hot take.
It's time.
It's time. Oh, here come the hate.
I can feel the people cracking the knuckles, getting ready to comment.
I feel like Marvel struggled from a similar affliction where all of a sudden it became we're just going to throw in these cameos to the degree where they kind of lose their nuance and any fun that there is to them. I like a good little cameo. I think it's great when it's it turns out that Stormtrooper was James Bond. That's pretty neat. I think I could have handled Jack Black. I could have handled Lizzo. I could have handled Christopher Lloyd. I couldn't handle all three of them in the same episode to the point where it took me out of the narrative. And Greg, you had a comment earlier yeah, it kind of did feel like a fan film. And I think a lot of this season has been that. And, part of me is well, that's what we've been asking for, right? We want something that's made by the fans for the fans. But I feel like there does come a point where it starts to do a little bit of injustice to the story. And I felt like they had some really interesting beats in this episode that I would have loved to just sink our teeth into. I mean, I think there was something really interesting about playing with this idea of the Empire treated former separatist planets in a really awful way, and there's implications to that. But instead of that, we got whatever this really interesting, silly, fun thing was. I mean, and there's a lot of pieces that who knows, maybe they'll have a payoff, the opening with the Mon Cal love affair. What was where is that?
I think it's just to recontextualize Axe's gang as a more hard line group now under his watch.
Breaking up Romeo
I don't think that
Juliet.
romance is ever coming back.
No, well, but in the Star Wars fan of me is well, Mon Cal is where you could build an incredible fleet, which could come in handy for the Mandalorians later. And so, but I just don't know where we're going, and we're now at the point like an episode like this, if you're going to get this off the rails, do it really, really early on. I feel like we're way too late in the game to be going on this sort of misadventure. But that being said, Greg, your opinion is the one that really matters here.
Yeah, sure, sure.
As you are holding the baby conch.
I've said many times that Mandalorian is my most favorite thing Star Wars has done.
Sorry.
Did I have fun?
I know what I hate.
Did I have fun watching this? Sure. Did I have fun for the reasons they intended, though? That is the ultimate question. This, like, it felt like a B movie. It felt like a fan film. None of it, when I say it doesn't feel real, I'm like, it's not that I don't feel like we're stepping into a fever dream. It feels like everything feels fake to me. None of it feels truly.
It's the Quantumania.
It is the Quantumania. It is like there's something about this that just doesn't feel lived in. And I kind of experienced that a little bit more with some of these episodes of season 3 so far. And this took like forever to come out. So I thought this wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah.
But there is something, especially with, unless it takes place in like some dark ass place, there's something with its tone and its pacing and its lighting where none of it, a lot of the time, it just doesn't feel real anymore. Yeah. And I would never say that about season 1 and 2. It was the exact opposite about season 1 and 2. Like, look how I feel like I get to live in this world again. And then here, everything just feels artificial to me. Yeah. And this episode in particular, yeah, I had fun because I was laughing at the episode. I was laughing at it. I don't feel like the way they treat it. You could have Bill Burr in here, and it's really believable.
Yeah,
he's great as Mayfield. He's phenomenal as Mayfield. Jack Black was like, this is a sketch now. And there is seriously no tension, no stakes. We are zipping across everywhere in this random city. and then we try to tie it back into what feels like the equivalent of kids who love making a fan film in the park. I
was once one of those kids.
We were all once one of those kids. We live in Los Angeles. There's all of us here. Go to the park tomorrow. You'll see them. I don't know what happened here. Yeah. And Bryce Dallas Howard made this episode. And I don't think it's a Bryce Dallas Howard problem. It's something going on with the Mouse House.
I'm going to chime in there because I've got a hunch. I think that there finally really was a genuine master plan that was being put into action by Favreau and Filoni. And I think a big part of that was going to be several of these spin-off shows, The Revenge of the New Republic. And there's just been episodes that are like so clearly what that show was supposed to be. I mean, I would be surprised if they genuinely wrote Grogu out as they intended and then were told, that they need to keep Grogu in as a last minute afterthought. But
Book of Boba Fett had bad episodes because when they were boring.
Yeah.
This wasn't boring.
No.
This was some other type of strange thing that I was
of its own.
Like, what the hell did we just watch?
Well,
John, John wants to say something. What is it? Go for it, John.
I don't actually have a thought.
Really? Oh, I wanted to hear what you had to say. You really don't have a thought? Oh,
I wasn't cueing body language to be like, let me jump in here. The only thought lingering on my mind right now is just that like everything you did in this episode, I think, or at least the multiple things they tried to do in this episode could easily have each filled. Like you could have had the droid problem with Lizzo and Jack Black be its whole own thing. You could have the droids and what they're going through as a community of sentient beings, and that be its own thing. And then you could have the redistributing of the dark saber, earning back the respect of the fleet. All that could have been its own story and episode.
That just shouldn't have been an afterthought.
This was so ridiculously corny.
That was
I don't mind the choice of them finally finding a way around a duel, But in this episode, that is like a legitimate gripe. I'm like,
Yeah.
we're just taking care of this in like a 3-minute chat.
Yeah, and I just
It should have been the fucking
way too much
focus.
momentum. I mean,
It should have
especially after that, like, look at this terrifying conversation between the armorer and Bo, and this like really spooky.
Yeah.
Like, think about where we left the last episode. The dark tone of Blue discovering the empty Imperial shuttle. Like,
Yeah.
Then to whatever this was, and I think, and here's the critique. Like, I totally agree with your note about it being lived in, or not being lived in this case, and that was something that I think people really fell in love with Star Wars because it was so textured, because it was this retro futuristic, like really fun. It made it so it wasn't all shiny and glossy. And to George Lucas's credit, when he did the prequels, I still think he managed to achieve a sense of, this is lived in, but it's still new and shiny, and it can be ornate. Whatever this is now is neither like the prequel or the original in terms of what it provides.
It's not even the Disney sequels.
No,
Like, I don't know.
it's literally Quantumania. I
Yeah.
mean, like it's the and I love Guardians.
I'm saying this feels like I think you and I at least are like, this feels like there's a production problem that happened with this season.
Yeah.
Oh, I can see that. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because they got a lot of the same returning directors, and Filoni is, I mean, he's credited as writing, and I know he's involved, but I know he's also spearheading the Ahsoka show. But there's a magic when you put those two together. And like Favreau and it was like,
well, they balance each other out
Yeah.
in such an important way, because I think both of them are such talented creatives. But like, I mean, I think speaking with my producer writer hat on for a minute, like there's certain projects that like, sure, I could try to do it by myself, but if I do it without like my proper creative partners, it's gonna be off the rails. And I think the problem, and this is the same issue that Marvel has, in my opinion, is you get to a point where like, you can only like stretch out Kevin Feige like Gumby for so long before he rips into pieces. And it's not a critique of the creatives as much as it is, I mean, they have enormous pressure on them right now as the flagship series for Disney Plus to deliver, and I think in the process, they've been set up to fail.
it doesn't even feel like it's about Din Djarin anymore.
Well, and I could be fine. I could be fine with that choice. I think the problem is it doesn't know what it wants. To be.
It doesn't replace it with something more interesting and focused.
Yeah. And listen, I love Bo. I love the Clone Wars arc. I love all that stuff. I cannot believe that the buildup of Bo winning back her Mandalorian compatriots and getting the dark saber is going to be written off in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's
of this,
bullshit.
Like an unrelated.
it is bullshit.
It's not
after a
fair.
fetch quest. Yeah.
It's not fair. And like and honestly, kudos to those in the comments section, because everybody called out the technicality. But like, no offense to our comment section, but one would hope that the writers that are paid lots of money to think something out would maybe go a little bit deeper than what we all came to the conclusion of immediately thereafter.
Like, didn't intentionally wait till they were in front of people?
Well, that's not a lot of great
let's let them
communication.
fight it out
Need
first,
witnesses.
and now I'll do this technicality speech.
Let people get sick of this, and then I'll make my move.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you set up a character that we had 5 minutes with to
I know.
Just
what is happening with this show?
Listen, how many episodes do we have left?
2.
Oh no.
6 of 8. Yeah.
I've never been worried for this show, but yeah, when you got to hear when this is be such a pivotal episode and they turned this in and Bryce Dallas Howard directed it, I'm like, something else is going wrong here. And because I just know for a fact, and I know a lot of the people who are already mad at us probably already clicked off. I know there's going to be people who are like, it feels like a Clone Wars episode. That's good for Clone Wars. That's good for the medium of Clone Wars.
To Clone Wars credit, and I say this as somebody that's watched it 3 times through, there's still arcs. There's still rules that they follow. I think This is like if you took one episode out of like 4 different Clone Wars arcs
and then
just
jammed
watched them right next to each other.
They just jammed it into one.
which, like, frankly, what this felt like in my mind was like season 1 or 2 of Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Like, there's no excuse for the 3rd season of a show of this magnitude and this much talent. You know, I'm really I'm gonna be cautiously optimistic. I think that we have to remember this season of Mandalorian is the last of the Chapek debacle in terms of the reins of Disney being handed back over to Bob Iger.
For like 2 years. Was this affected by COVID?
I mean, it had to be. I mean, everything's been affected by COVID, but
maybe that's why they're
this,
always going out of their way being like, we already wrote season 4. it's all planned out.
Chapek, though, I think, I mean, this is like the epitome of why they gave him the boot is for this kind of mismanagement. But I mean, honestly, and I hate to like beat the drum on this and like, listen, I'm forever appreciative to Kathleen Kennedy for her contribution to film and TV. God knows she played an important role in all the films that I loved growing up. But I think it's genuinely time to like, if this is going to be a Marvel-esque property that we take seriously, the flagship show cannot do what they did this episode.
Yeah.
And you know, I think there's so many. I mean, the whole, just like play this out in your head for a sec. This entire series, its entire purpose thus far has been to try to explain the lack of cohesive storytelling that went into the sequel trilogy. Like every single action with the Grogu and it turned to cloning and all these different connective threads are trying to make up for the lack of cohesion that landed them into this debacle in the first place. And what I'm seeing is no lessons have been learned.
That's why I like the 3rd episode, because it's like these are choices and plots and fetch quests that are being driven by emotional choices and a good narrative. Even people were like, oh, I'm a fan of that 3rd episode with Pershing. I'm like, I think it's exceptionally better than what this one is by far. I love the 2nd episode, and out of all these episodes, I'm like, I like the others, and but like the faults that I would find with the others, it all came to like a massive culmination in this one. And when you have 8 episodes, I'm like, okay, I can't just settle for like B movie fun after a while. Like I had fun watching it, but I was certainly laughing at it and it didn't feel like it was intentionally supposed to laugh with it. Sorry, John, we have been talking so much.
No, it's a weird episode. Like, what's more to really say? I mean, I just find that very entertaining, but like, I can't really disagree with almost anything you guys have brought up here. And I think that, if the sheer amount of guest stars too, it's like, I think you could have made Jack Black and Lizzo work if we had a little bit more time with that and a little better ways to tamper the humor there. And then you have Christopher Lloyd, who's like, he's not just going to be some cameo, and it's probably not going to be these 2 lovebirds over here. So like, I don't know.
I've never complained about this show's cinematography, but I've noticed like lately, it's just everything's so freaking bright and it just feels like actors in front of a green screen now, or the volume. It just looks like actors in front of a volume, and like the sets generally don't truly feel like something. When they went through the city, it did.
It reminded me a lot of the Canobite Cantina sequence in the sequel trilogy. It's just very like, what? This isn't. It's not Star Wars.
And Din and Bo played. There's this weird dynamic. To me, it was a little weird dynamic.
Their chemistry needed something else. They needed some more time together, or something in a more serious tone. Because it's just a weird. I'm completely there with you, and I love both of them. I mean, I love
them both individually.
Exactly. No, I mean, frankly, the only stuff that's like really had like dramatic tone and like really been, I think, down to earth. I've really enjoyed the armor sequences, which is crazy because not a character that should have that much emotional weight, but like I love the tension that I feel there, and I don't know. We know what they're capable of, and I think that's what's disappointing. And listen, this would have made a great holiday special.
It felt like that.
Well, and I mean too, I feel like we didn't really have any time to at least in other episodes or other Star Wars media where they have introduced like, oh, hey, we're having a feast or something, or you're on a new world. Granted, I mean, you're living in the problem of their society being so droid-based and all that stuff, recommissioned, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, it's like when you join them at this banquet thing, maybe, I don't know, unpack a little bit of what the significance of this is or what cultural, element it is serving in one way or another rather than just, yes, a bright, garish excuse to have a bunch of recognizable Star Wars species in one room together or something like that.
Yeah.
It's sad.
It's a sci-fi movie hodgepodge at a certain point.
Yeah, I mean, they were like we said earlier, it was
like
Star Trek
robot.
vibes, but like the not great episodes of Next Generation.
Yeah.
Like I got a lot of that, and there was certainly no shortage of like Doctor. It was just weird. It was like a low budget.
It felt like, what happened to your money? Why does Andor look so much better than
They burned it all on Mandalore. Like that, I mean, that cinematography in the mines of Mandalore, that was where it went. They're like, they've used too much of the jetpacks. It adds up, Greg.
Yeah, it's like, I feel like now the Mandalorian is becoming a show to set up other people and other shows.
Spinoffs, which is not, again, lessons not learned.
It just feels like Din Djarin, but especially Grogu. Din Djarin and Grogu are just walking through the show for like other people's.
They literally just happened to be there.
Which has always happened, but it doesn't have that kung fu essence.
No, it doesn't have that Mad Max essence.
And even, I mean, what a lost opportunity with Bo and Din to create some tension between would-be ally. Like, there was a room for really interesting character development and growth for Bo to put her people above her own ambition, and instead she just got handed everything she could have ever wanted.
God, that is so silly to me. This was so silly.
Well, there's just enough episodes left to either break our hearts or change our minds.
I'm genuinely concerned.
The next two will be 2 hours apiece. That's how they'll make up.
I think they should just do a cameo.
Honestly, I'd be cool if they said we're going to pause. We're not going to put out the next 2 episodes. And we're going to take the next 2 to 3 years to get our stuff together. I will continue to pay for my Disney Plus subscription in the meantime. Like, God.
Anyway, guys. Oh man,
what did you think? I know it was fun, but be honest with yourself. What did you think?
I like the Reject Nation a lot because we generally, even if we're negative, we tend to attract the ones who are optimistic and positive. And I love that about the Reject Nation.
Yeah, I do too.
Generally tends to be the top comments of like, I had fun and stuff. And I support that and I encourage that.
And that's what TV and Star Wars is at the end of the day. I guess my hope was that the bar might be raised just a little tiny bit.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks for being here. Tell us your thoughts. You excited for Thrawn to show up in a hilarious episode of The Mandalorian?
Played by Vince Vaughn. Vince Thrawn next week.
Oh, Lord.
All right. Let's end this with a Patron.
Lance Dorr. Listen, if anybody could fix this, it's you, buddy. You're already out there helping the people of Canada stay safe from all sorts of natural disasters. Come in and fix the disaster that has become Lucasfilm. I'm sure that you, with your no-nonsense and your holistic approach, could probably come up with some kind of a, interesting hook for the writers to follow. And then from there, you will be the savior of the New Republic, of all of the people of the Star Wars galaxy. You could unite them all under one umbrella of good storytelling, Lance. And if not, I mean, I think if you just took off your shirt, put on a Mandalorian helmet, and oiled down your chest a little bit, I mean, you could make everybody forget that any of this ever happened.
I'd buy that calendar.
Yeah, and then get Bryce Dallas Howard to shoot the pictures of the calendar so that they'll look as good as they possibly can. And then both her directing career, which has been demolished as of this episode, will be mended, and then you will rise as the hero we always truly deserve to lead us into a new age. So stay safe out there, Lance, because you got a lot of responsibility riding on your shoulders. I have spoken. This is the way. Maintain your pledge. We love you, buddy.
Love you.